Okay, welcome. So today I want to just offer some reflections about what I did yesterday, and it was definitely outside of my comfort zone, and it was definitely something unthinkable until recently. So I just want to talk a little bit about that, and it's to do with publishing my book. Okay, so as a lot of you know, I have been writing my second book called, essentially, provincial title is Boarding School Syndrome and Recovery, which pulls on the name of Judith Herman's book Trauma and Recovery. And yeah, yesterday I reached out to a publisher. My God, I've been putting off doing that for a long time. Even my first book, I didn't go to a publisher. I decided to circumnavigate that by self-publishing. And some people have said to me, why don't you just self-publish your book? And there's a couple of reasons for that. The first reason is that because I am sharing some very personal information about a school which has been in the press a lot, there is the legal problem that my story could be potentially libelous, and I could get into a lot of trouble by sharing what happened. Some people from my school, I've spoken to them about it, and they said, well, this is just fact. This is what happened. That being said, I've also heard that these institutions, they have a lot of weight to them, and that, I wouldn't want my book to be pulled because I've been sued or something like that. So that is the reason that I've decided to go to a publisher, and it feels really scary. It's like, going through my book. I've spent 18 months working on it, and I've probably done between 8 to 10 edits. I've read through it 10 times and done a lot of proofreading, added a lot of stuff, but now I've got to the point where it's like, okay, I feel really scared, and I'm going to, and I've reached out to a publisher. So in principle, they're interested. The publisher I've contacted are Routledge, and they've published a few books about boarding school syndrome, from Joy Chevron's book, some of Nick Duffell's work. Mainly their market is mental health professionals. So they said they would be potentially interested in working with me if I could connect with the boarding school survivors, the ex-boarders. So I said, okay, well, I'll see and I'll reach out. So what I'm going to suggest is, I've got a page on my website, which is Piers' book, and I'll put a link in the bottom here. And what would be great is if you are interested in reading my story. So my story is essentially going off to boarding school. It's a very candid account of me struggling with my sexuality, struggling with my emotions, also getting very depressed through a friend committing suicide, through teachers trying to sexually abuse me. So, there's a lot there that I unpack, and I also share the tools that I've used since my days in the monastery when I had my breakdown working in the city in London, about the tools that I've used to help start to heal this. So there's about 30 to 35 exercises in there for what I use with my clients and what I've used with myself. So the question is there sufficient interest for me to get a contract with these publishers? So what I really could do with is your help. And what that would mean is, I would love for you to go to my website as you finish watching this and just put your name and email address into the Piers' book section. It will be quite obvious, it's at the top, to show your interest. So I can therefore go to the publisher, look, I have 100, I have 500, I have 1,000 people who are interested in reading this book. And, And the other idea I've had is to waive any royalties I get for the book, to give it all to charity, that I don't receive anything, that it all goes to a boarding school survivors charity. So it's like, how do I get this message out there? How do we bring healing? Because I feel that boarding school trauma it's like something we don't really speak about as a culture, yet it affects so many of us. You know, how many of our leaders, how many of the business leaders, the head of MI6, I think the Archbishop of Canterbury, all of these people have been to boarding school. And as you know from my videos, a lot of us receive trauma there, and we're carrying this trauma. So I feel that it's so important that the message gets out there. So this is, an idea I've had. So I contacted them yesterday. I said I would speak to my audience, see if they're interested in this book, and what that would mean is, potentially committing to buying the book, to leaving a review, to sharing this message with, if you know an ex-boarder, email them, message them. It's like, let them know that, right, this is there. Because I think, if I don't have that interest, then it's okay. I'll just have to let the book go. But I would really love to get this message out there. Essentially I'm asking for help here. It's like, I want to get this message out there. I feel that the teachers at my school, they need to be held account to what they did. Some are in prison, yes, but there's a lot of people who are involved in the higher echelons who knew about this stuff but did nothing. And I feel, as I was speaking to Joanna Britton a few weeks ago, she said in the ICSA, things aren't really changing about the child sexual abuse. So I feel that it's up to us now to be the change. We need to share this stuff, to say, right, we're going to change this, to speak up, to say to our schools, the old schools, no, this was not acceptable. So trying to think, another idea I've had for promoting the book is to reach out to some really well-known ex-boarders. I have the contact details for Stephen Fry, and I've just bought his book, so I'll start reading through his book. It's like to get really well-known people to speak up, to get it out there. Right, this is what's happened at boarding school, and things haven't really changed. We still have that emotional disconnection. Things really, really do need to change. So please do, at the bottom of this video, if you are interested in supporting this book getting out there, then just please put in your name and your email address, and then next week when I contact the publisher again, they'll say, right, okay, you have 50, 100 people who are interested in buying this book. So please do share this. Please do share this with people you think might be interested. It doesn't have to be just ex-boarders. It might be mental health professionals, people, psychotherapists, also people who are married to an ex-boarder. They might be interested in this story as well. So, thank you so much for your support over the years. I'd love to get this message out there, and I'm terrified of getting this message out there. I really am, and that's why it's really lovely to ask for support and have support, because it was quite traumatic, my time at school, and writing this story, I've been like, I don't know if I can do it, but it's done, it's finished. Now the hard bit is really going to be working with the publisher, editing it, if they offer to take this book on. So any ideas as well, if you've got ideas of how I could get it promoted out there, please put it in the comments. If you're interested, just put in the comments yes or thumbs up, any way just to support, that would be wonderful. So many blessings, and any questions, let me know. Bye for now.